Hi, this is Professor Crumpton. Welcome to week 11, and welcome to the topic of gender identity. Although it may sound a lot like as you go through the week, like last week's topic, sexual orientation, gender identity is completely different. As so many topics are, as we learn more and more about what it means to be human, gender identity is one of those topics that can cause a lot of controversy, that can pit people against one another and cause people to take sides. You all have been really great at remaining open-minded and willing to engage with different topics so that you could become not only better informed, so that you become a human being that has more empathy and more understanding. There's so many things about human nature that we are just discovering, and so many things we still don't know. And while we're fast to call things either right or wrong, or evil in some cases, what we really should be reminded of is how little we know. And so part of education and part of awareness is to not only to help us to better understand, but to recognize how many questions there are and how many different perspectives and different ways there are of looking at topics and looking at different issues. So I want you to remain, as you have been, open-minded and willing to engage with one another so that everyone can learn and everyone gets to broaden their world view. So I think you will find yourself referring to some of the material that you were introduced to last week as you go through this week's material. As we approach the end of the semester, sometimes our energy starts to wane, gets a little bit, it's just not what it used to be. We get tired because the semester is, in some ways, a matter of endurance. We also get tired because obligations start to the weight of them start to feel on our bodies and our minds. So for those of you who are working and raising families and trying to do school, I know how difficult that is. I know how exhausting you feel sometimes. What I want to share with you from a very personal place is it's worth it. Just like you, I have gotten all of my education, all the way through my doctorate, by going to school while I was working full-time. And I got my associate's degree and my bachelor's degree and my master's degree while I was raising 2 children. So I get it. But I want you to know it's worth it. So hang in there. Keep doing your best. And for those of you who don't really like the discussion forum, you should really count your blessings. You should count the things you don't have to do in this class rather than things you do have to do. For example, just in case you've forgotten, you should count how many tests you've taken so far. You should count how many projects you've had to do so far. You should count how many textbooks you've had to read so far. You should count how many assignments you've had to do so far. I think when you count those things up, you'll realize the workload in this class has been really minimized, in hopes that you will, first of all, be able to endure the 16 weeks and also do some learning. So stay with it. Do as much as you can, read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and engage with one another online. Stay open to learning. Have a terrific week.